Welcome to the Knighthood Podcast, a 30-minute weekly catch-up on all things Newcastle Knights with your hosts, Michael and James. So strap in and let's go. Howdy, James. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. There's been a few technical issues, as you know, but I've overcome them and I'm here. So, I'm
Mate,
pumped to talk about the Knights. So, yeah.
Mate, you've performed, just so everyone knows, where James is up in North Queensland, they had a power outage and he's basically in the dark at the moment. And he's got some torches and some, what else? He has some candles or something as well.
Oh, mate, I wanted candles. No candles, unfortunately, but I've delivered the goods. I've come through. It's probably I look a bit red, but whatever.
Mate, you look good, and you've done what the Knights haven't been able to do, and that's to adapt to the conditions. I love it.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm very happy.
Well, we have a lot to cover tonight, so I reckon we just get cracking into the content.
Yep.
Rightio. So just a quick overview of the Knighthood podcast for the first-time listeners. Look, James and I, we're Newcastle guys, Novocastrians, been following Knights since '88. We went to school together, played footy together. We're pretty passionate about the Knights, and we thought we'd give it a crack, bringing a 30-minute format every week, live on YouTube, 7 p.m., which is concise and comprehensive. No fluff, no bullcrap. Focus on the performance of the team as we go through the whole season for the Newcastle Knights NRL side in 2024. And as we follow this process consistently each week and focus on improvement, we also want to see profit in terms of making better selections and tips and making better selections in bets. The overview for the pod tonight is we'll do a full comprehensive review, including score and stats, press conference notes around the grounds, personal comments from Michael and James, and that'll be for round 2 for the loss to the Cowboys. We're going to quickly run through the United Player of the Year 3-2-1 update and the ladder, NRL ladder. We'll have a injury and suspension update. We'll then run through the round 3 teams list. Then we'll run through the key points to consider for the match. And then finally make our predictions, including our Topsport betting tally and our tips. So let's get straight into it. Straight into the stats. We lost 20-21 to the Cowboys. James, what were your thoughts here in regards to the team stats?
First half, I thought we had low error count. That sort of got a bit heavy again, like compared to the last week. It was still another pretty ordinary error count. Possession, obviously, you see there, it looks pretty even. You can handle that.
Just for the audience, we've got our Knights had 51% possession compared to the Cowboys at 49%. Time in possession was 27 minutes to the Knights compared to 26 for the Cowboys. That's approximate. And the completion rate, we beat them 78% to 71%.
Yep. And I think if you look at their completion rates from both teams, not great, but it's an improvement from last week. I think we were at 69 last week, so we're up near the 80 mark, and you want to be a bit higher than that as well.
And I think I remember saying in last week's pod, I asked the question, can we complete at 85%? Because I thought that's what we'd need to win the match. We dropped in a bit short there at 78%, and if they did complete it at 85, they probably would have won. Let's have a look at the attack stats. All runs, 186 to the Knights versus 194 to the Cowboys. All run meters was 1651 to the Knights, 1592 to the Cowboys, so we outran them in total meters. Post-contact meters, 654 compared to 614 to the Cowboys, so we beat them there. Line breaks, the Cowboys beat us 5-4. Tackle breaks, Cowboys beat us 24-21. Average set distance was 39 meters for the Knights and 30 for the Cowboys, so we did actually roll through pretty well. And then kick return meters, we got outdone there, 185 to 107. Any thoughts there, James?
I mean, they're pretty even, aren't they? There's probably the kick return meters, and I think there was another stat I was looking at earlier, which you probably haven't brought up yet, but there was like the play the ball speed, which I noticed ours was a bit slower than the Cowboys, and you could actually really see that during the game. So, right there, definitely. Things were pretty even.
Fairly even, yeah. And I think overall so far, from what we've seen, we'd say that we'd be slightly ahead on the stats. Then we come down to kicking. So All kicks was 22-17 to the Knights. Kicking meters was 567 to the Knights to 394. So compared to the Canberra match, we actually outkicked the Cowboys and outran them.
Yep.
Forced dropouts to the Cowboys, they had 2-1, so they beat us there. Kick defusal was 90% of the Cowboys, 89% to the Knights. Bombs and grubbers, do we really need to go into that? Probably not. I mean, a key thing here in defence was our tackle, effective tackle. I think 89.7% to the Knights and 91.22 to the Cowboys. So they slightly outdid us there, but both of those are pretty high numbers.
They are.
And I thought both teams' defence, wasn't too bad, especially in those humid conditions. As our game opened up, I thought there were a lot of good effective tackles. Tackles, we made 331 compared to their 374, so we did wear them out a bit, although we did look a bit tired towards the end of the match. What are your thoughts here on these little stats, James?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I can see huge improvement from last week, where it was a pretty horrible, stats wise. Missed tackles,
pretty low, 24 to 21.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. And pretty even between both teams. It's not like sort of a big gap there. Stats-wise, it looked pretty good, really, to be honest.
Look, I think we won on the stats, and we definitely improved from stats compared to last week. We get to negative play. We made 12 errors, so that in the humid conditions, not too bad. And our Cowboys made 15, so we outdid them. There, penalties conceded, 10 against the Knights, 5 against the Cowboys. Ruck infringements, 3 against the Knights, 5 against the Cowboys. And inside the 10, 1 to the Knight, 0 to the Cowboys. Overall, we ended up on the negative side of the penalty, including infringements and inside the 10 metres. And James and I were chatting on X throughout the match, and I know you made some comments about the ruck and the Cowboys maybe holding us down a bit, but I thought the ref in the first half we had a really good run with the ref, and then I think in the second half it didn't look so good when we got tired, and I think the ref, I thought he was pretty consistent overall. I don't like when the refs blow too many penalties, but what it does is it does open the match up and makes it a kind of an entertaining style. I just hate seeing inconsistency from game to game. I really hate it. But it comes down to the ref and the way that they interpret things and the way that they run the match. So, look, that's one thing that we probably should look at in the future is who's reffing and what's our record with that ref, because it dramatically changes the style of the game. So, look, we're going to break down here. So we've got key segmented player stats here. We want to look at this holistically, and we're going to look at it in a few different ways. So we're going to look at the backs. The backs ran for 633 meters on an average of 126. That's the back five, basically. So the wingers, the centers, and the fullback. Average of 126 meters from our back, with Ponga leading the way at 159. I think that's pretty strong, even though we are lacking Dom Young from last year. Marju had pretty good numbers. Ponga had pretty good numbers overall. Every back there on the outside five, I think they ran close to 100 on 126 on average, but I don't think there was anyone under 100 meters. So overall, not too bad from the back. The starting middle forwards ran, and that's basically the 8, the 10, and the 13. They ran for 391 on an average of 130 meters, which is pretty damn good. Thompson led the way of 133, and I think Elliott at 132. The starting back row ran for 214. It's average of 107, and Frizzell had 122. So once again, both over 100 meters. I think actually KPP was a bit under 92, but look, you're getting that over on average 122 from your back rowers. I think that's pretty good. Our bench ran for 260 on an average of 65, with DSAF leading the way at 105. I thought he played really well. The halves and the hooker ran for 145 on an average of 48. So even the halves and the hooker are making meters. Hastings ran for 73 meters, even though it was probably pretty slow. Gamble and Hastings, basically did the majority of the kicking with Ponga. Gamble led the way at 272, Hastings at 196, and Ponga at 97. So I think they shared that out pretty evenly with Gamble, the main kicker. Basically, in terms of offloads, Ponga, Marju, and Hetherington had the most offloads at 2 each. The most line breaks, Elliott at 2, Ponga at 1, Gay Guy at 1. And then we had basically the most tackle breaks. Gay Guy made 9 tackle breaks, Elliott made 2, and Marju made 2, and Jenkins made 2. The tries were scored by Elliott 2 and Marju 1. Our top tacklers were Elliott at 44. Really good effort. He didn't miss a tackle. Thompson at 35, he barely missed a tackle, I think 2, and then Crossland 37 missed about 6. But he does lead our line speed, and he's a smaller guy, so that's to be expected. I don't think any were critical misses. Tackle efficiency. The lowest tackle efficiency was Crossland at 79%, Best at 81%, and Cartwright at 84%, Gamble at 85%. Still, even though those numbers there are not too bad for your lowest players, I know that when I looked at the Melbourne stats from the weekend, they're in their outside backs, their tackle efficiency was pretty low, like in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So
Yeah, okay.
that's definitely something that stuck out to me. The players that made the most, basically 60% of all of the errors, the critical errors, were made by Ponga, Marju, Gamble, and Elliott. And then our most penalised player was Jack Hetherington at 3, Kai Pearce-Paul at 2, and we had Crossland at 2, and Jay Saff at 2, and Gamble at 2. So these are pretty comprehensive breakdowns, and you can sort of, take in what you want to take in, leave out what you want to leave out. Just quickly, we've got to move on. Any thoughts there? Does anything stick out there to you, James?
I was looking at it here. Where was it? The Gay Guy. Yeah, I mean, most tackle breaks. He was really strong. I thought him running out the back really got us out of trouble a few times. So that, that's quite a lot, isn't it? 9 compared to the next there is 2.
Yeah.
So he really was having a crack. Yeah, I'm really impressed with all the stats here. It's a new format for us right now that you've put together, but it's really comprehensive and really impressive, and it really opens up what different areas we've improved or we haven't. So it's looking good.
One of the things we're going to do here is be consistent in the way that we review matches. So, and we've got to look at always improving. So that's what we've done in the last week, and we've come up with a bit of a format here that gives you a little bit more insight compared to what you'll even get on NRL.com and different places. So find it here on the Knighthood podcast. Now, the press conference note from O'Brien and Ponga, who attended. O'Brien said that he's never happy to lose, but he's really proud of the team. He said lots of things that they need to get smarter at, and basically they need to get better at, including the start of the second half. Well, that's a broken record. We've heard that crap before. He thought that the team would gain admirers from the grit that they showed, and I thought that was quite an interesting comment. The guys in the press conference didn't really react to that too well. It was a bit of a joke amongst some people in the media and stuff as well. So, look, they definitely showed some grit, but I thought that the way that the comment was brought into the press conference was a bit funny. And look, let's face it, O'Brien's had some shockers in press conferences before. But the thing I do like he's doing here is he's backing his players, backing his team, and I think he's been quite positive. So we're not necessarily here to, criticize or, be overly positive in any way. We just want to read what's going on and give you guys some feedback and what our take is on it. So overall, I think he's been quite positive and supporting the team and his decisions. And I think that's why he comes across as being a bit goofy sometimes. Ponga basically said that individuals need to be accountable for their errors, including himself, but the effort was there compared to against the Raiders. The comment was made that it was a tale of two halves, and possessions and penalties kind of impacted the match. O'Brien also mentioned that last year was built on close losses, and this one will help. Well, do we need to necessarily go through and learn the same lessons again as a team? I don't think we need to. It's disappointing that after 2 matches we're still without a win, and I still think that these 2 matches will come back to bite us at the end of the season. But look, let's wait and see how we go this week. And he basically said that they need to stop talking about last year, and he's 100% right. We're moving into round 3, so let's move on from that. Around the grounds, Cameron Smith commented that this was last week before the match, that basically apart from KP, the Knights didn't show much, or he actually said they showed nothing in round 1. Andrew Johns on the footy show, concentration and attention to detail were off, and it's a concern. I agree with that, and the Knights need to be more like you, James. They need to be able to adapt to the conditions, and they need to be able to concentrate, focus on attention to detail, and they're not very good at adapting. I don't think.
They want it their way, and don't they?
Yeah.
It's not their way. They struggle to adapt to different scenarios in games, really, conditions or anything.
It is an issue with the side. Phil Gould, he basically said that you can't lose games like this when you hold the lead twice. Now, I don't think we lost the lead twice, but basically, we led 12-0 at halftime, and then we got in front after that shocking 5 minutes. They scored 2 tries, but then we showed some real grit, which was
2010.
awesome. Got to 2010. We should have won the game from there, and that's what Gould's referring to. Is he's made the team's made a couple of efforts. They should have held on from there. Even with 4 minutes to go, we're still in front by 4 points. Sorry, I think it was 6 we were in front by. Willie Mason, our big friend, he mentioned that Hastings isn't taking it to the line, and the forwards are a bit too one out. It's kind of, I think he's a bit off with the forward comment, but I think Hastings probably is still lacking in confidence from his injury from last year, and even clutched at his ankle early in the match, which I thought was quite concerning. He also mentioned the uncertainty in the spine's not helping, and I totally agree with that. And Barry Tui was asked on Twitter, on X, in regards to golden point, should it exist? And he said it's hard to argue that it probably it shouldn't. We should get 1 point, but I guess golden point's pretty exciting, and NRL not going to take that away. It's a good part of their product. Right, let's. So we've been over things there pretty comprehensively. What are your final thoughts here, James?
Yeah, regarding the game against the Cowboys, I just thought, they started the game well. They had quite a few opportunities, a lot of opportunity really based on the back of the Cowboys error count. And, we scored 2 tries in that first half. We looked pretty damn good and solid in defense, but I thought we should probably at least should have had another try to go up around the 18 mark to nil.
Yeah.
12 was just, it gave the Cowboys something to go into the second half and sort of, a bit confident really. I thought despite the possession during the first half, Newcastle, like I said, they only managed to score the 2 tries. Hindsight, they should have been up by more at the break, which I already said. On the back of errors, I thought in the second half errors and penalties, we sort of what looked to me like we ran out of gas. I told you that, and you seemed to think that I was a bit off, but that's just how it looked. But the conditions probably played a part, and the Cowboys were playing a very, very fast, upbeat style of footy. So, they just couldn't go with them, really.
Look, I think the Cowboys conserved energy in the first half, and I think they actually had that in their game plan. You could tell with the way they were playing, they were totally off. I don't think I've seen a side play as bad as the Cowboys did in that first half, and that to me, what is concerning in my notes here is that I thought the second half was the best indication of the match, because they was so bad in the first half that there was no pressure applied to Newcastle at all, and we could only go in at 12-0. We were probably lucky to go in at 12-0 as well. Those tries sort of came from nowhere. But look, we'll take it. It was 12-0. We should have been up by more. So basically, we won the first half 12-0, but we did lose the second half 8-21. So it was basically 3 tries to 1. I thought we did enough to win the match. We went through the stats, and the stats kind of back that up. But we couldn't execute in key moments. And I thought it was very concerning that we couldn't, in the first half when the pressure was off us, convert more points. And in the second half when the pressure was on us, we crumbled. I thought it was great. We did make a rebound there. We bounced back. And after they scored those 2 tries in the second half and it got back pretty close, we got ahead 20-10. I thought they showed a lot of character there. DSAF put on the big hit. We scored, and then we got a penalty. Then it was just a matter of, all we got to do is just, there was
play
key.
smart.
There was, even Ponga. I got to bring this up. This is about adapting to the game. Surely Kalen Ponga, Dally M medalist of last year, could have noticed that when we were taking the 20-meter taps off our defensive sets, the Gamble made 20 meters off a tap. Gay guy, I think, made a break, and he made something like 30 meters as well.
He did, yep.
Why wasn't he there in support? Now, he was there in support with Gay guy. Gay guy didn't see him. But I think the Gay guy break happened first before the second one with Gamble. Why wasn't Ponga following up to the 20-meter line to trail Gamble? There's a massive amount of space there. All he would have had to do is pass it to Ponga, would have scored. If he was there,
Yeah.
I didn't see where Ponga was. Maybe he got knocked out of play. Just little critical things like that could just easily win us the game. We just can't seem to execute. That at the end of the day, we just can't seem to execute. And
what do you think about going up by 2 points?
Frustrating.
I've
got no problem with it because I've also got no problem with that, and no problem with Hastings with 5 minutes to go putting a kick through right into the back corner. And basically, what that said to the Cowboys, you've got 2 sets of 6 or 3 sets of 6 here left in the match. You're going to earn the win if you get it, and we're going to back our defense. I like that. It didn't end up working out for us because they ended up scoring a try. But I think that was off the back of some bad luck there with Gamble. It was like a bit of a pass in, and unluckily they got another set of 6 on the halfway, and that's what led to the try.
Yeah.
So a bit of bad luck there, and it was positive play. Look, the other note that I made here is that there's definitely some good signs in defence from those stats. Our tackle efficiency is high. We're not making too many missed tackles. I think our middle stats are quite good. I think our outside backs stats are quite good, but I think we lack cohesion in the spine, and we're obviously going to get to the team selections pretty soon. But basically, I made a note here. Hastings needs to take more control of the side, and we need to eliminate critical errors in key moments. So,
yep.
Let's now quickly move on. I think we're up to our 3-2-1. So, player of the year. James, who did you have 3-2-1 for this week?
Yeah, for 3 points, I went for Jacob Saifidi. I thought he was, again, really strong in the middle. Just does the hard yards, gets plenty of meters. We spoke about Adam Elliott last week, who really needed to lift his game. I thought he did that.
He was our player of notice. Yep. He was on notice. And look, he aimed up.
Yeah, he did. And I was really happy that he lifted his game. So he got 2 points. I thought Leo Thompson was way better than he played against Canberra. I thought he was really strong.
He was. And he looked like a different player.
1 point. Yep.
Maybe because his hair was out, you got to have the hair out flowing a bit, like it's, like a bit of flowing hair, a bit of like Pasami Solo.
Why not?
Why not? I don't know. It's just something about it in footy, flowing hairs. It's it's kind of good. There's something sick about it. It's cool. Look, I gave 3 points to Elliott. 2 tries, 44 tackles, 0 missed, 132 meters. I got to say this: he made 2 critical errors that didn't come up on the stats for some reason. After he scored the try, 2 shocking errors in when we were attacking the Cowboys, and then he gave away that really terrible penalty that led to a try, I think, in the second half. God, I wanted to take away the 3, but I couldn't. His stats just stood out, and he was our player on notice last week. So whether he listened to us, I'm sure probably wasn't just us, but look, he aimed up. Good on him. Leo Thompson, I thought he was excellent. 37 tackles, 2 missed, 133 meters, very solid. Flowing hair, looked better. Daniel Safidi, 21 tackles, 0 missed, which is good for DSAF because he can lapse in concentration, just as the Immortal told us. And then basically he ran for 105 meters as well. Special mentions to KPP. I thought he looked really good for a player coming. He didn't miss a tackle as well, I think. And once he gets a bit of a hall pass in the side to offload. Look, it's very exciting. He's showing great signs after only 2 games here in NRL, and I thought Hetherington was absolutely outstanding. Unlucky not to feature in a 3-2-1.
He's been
probably
good.
could have edged out Daniel Safidi really. Let's get to our ladder. Jacob Safidi on the lead there in 6 after 2 rounds. Dane Gagai on 5, Adam Elliott on 5, Leo Thompson on 3, Greg Marju on 2, Tyson Frizzell on 1, Daniel Safidi on 1, Phoenix Crossland on 1. Make note there that the middle forwards, Jacob Safidi, Adam Elliott, and Leo Thompson are in the top 4. So they're performing quite well for us.
Yep.
A quick look at the NRL ladder. First is the Raiders, second is the Cowboys. That's who we played in the first 2 rounds. So I guess if you look at it that way, we have played the top 2 teams on the ladder. We only went down by 1 point to the Cowboys, probably should have won that. And we most certainly could have won the match against Canberra. We should have won the match against Canberra. So, look, all isn't lost. And we'll see what they've done with the team pretty soon. Okay, next. We're going to roll on to a message from our season sponsor, MB Optimal Oral Care. MB Optimal Oral Care are our season sponsor of the Knighthood podcast. They have a range of zero plastic oral care products that are best for you and best for the planet. You can check out their full range of products via Chemist Warehouse online. Find the link in the description. Yep, so MB Optimal Oral Care, great that they're on board for the year to sponsor the Knighthood podcast. They sell stainless steel tongue scrapers, copper tongue scrapers, zero plastic tongue scrapers, and a range of zero plastic oral care products. A lot of the bigger companies, we won't mention their names, they have a lot of plastic in their products, not great for the oceans, not good for the turtles. And tongue scraping is also something that everyone should consider because a lot of the mouthwashes contain harsh chemicals that are actually not great for oral health. And cleaning your tongue is the best way to actually stop getting bad breath and things like that. So after you've had a pie at the match, you should probably clean your mouth when you get home with a tongue scraper.
Bust out the tongue scraper.
Bust it out. All right. Let's go into the second half of the United podcast of the week. Injuries and suspensions for the Knights. We've got, at this stage, it's 50-50. We don't know. Jack Hetherington may be injured, maybe not. Marju is out. Apparently, he's done his wrist. He's getting surgery. Mapalangi, he did some ligaments, I think, in his shoulder, probably 2-3 weeks away. He's had a bad run, that guy.
He has, yeah.
Riley Jones is out as well. I'm not sure the extent of his injury or how long it's for. I've made some notes here that are interesting. So 4 out of our 29 squad is 14% injured in the total 29 squad. We're 1 short of the 30 in our top 30 roster. I'll get back to the strength rating in a minute. Let's go over the Storm. So we've got Cameron Munster is out. Nelson Asafa Solomona is out. And Jerome Hughes is suspended for a match. Hallelujah. That was a good luck strike for us there. There's something that we're going to do here is look at this full strength rating. So at the moment, the Knights are 2 out of their top 17. We would suggest is their top 17 are out. So that's 88% full strength rating. And at the Storm, we've got an 82% full strength rating because 3 of their top 17 are out. And what we should note there is the ones that are out there for the Storm are their key halves, halfback and 5'8". And Big Nelson, well, he's just an absolute wrecking machine. So, 3 key outs there for the Storm. And you'd like to think that we've got Marju, he would be a starter. And Hetherington. Now, I know who I'd much rather be in the Knights position right now when it comes to strength of squad and the top 17 that's going to go out this week, where we've definitely got a key edge there. Let's run through the teams list. James, you want to read through this?
Yeah, I'll do the Knights. So we got fullback.
We're going to break it. We're just for the viewers, we're going to break it up into the backs this week, forwards, and then the interchange.
Yep. Okay. So fullback, we got Kalen Ponga. On the wing, we've got Thomas Jenkins. Centers, we've got Dane Gagai and Bradman Best. I don't think Anari Tuala's there. Or is he back?
No, he's back. He's been named.
Is he back? I didn't know he was back. Wow.
He's
Okay,
been
cool.
named.
I'm
Looks like he
shocked.
might be back. Yep.
All right, cool. Yep. We've got Tyson Gamble at 5'8", and we've got Jack Cogger coming in, which is the big one. So Jackson Hastings getting dropped, and
Well, that's
Jack
big
Cogger gets
news.
the show.
We should have a quick chat about that. So my thoughts there is that my key takes on Hastings' game so far is I don't think he doesn't seem vocal enough on the field. He's sort of lost that kind of edge he had in terms of his personality, and maybe that's lack of confidence. Didn't seem like he was like being a good general, getting a team around. He had more of a calmer, kind of cooler head about him, and I don't know. I would have liked to see a little bit more passion. And I think he's still concerned about his injury, clutching his ankle last week, and he seems quite slow. Although he's reading the game pretty well still, I think. But I guess Cogger is like I personally think actually the main reason we haven't performed so well in the first 2 weeks is because Cogger has been the third wheel, and it's created a lot of uncertainty around that spine. I don't think it's done well for the team, and I think it's affected our performance. It's great to see O'Brien's made a hard decision this week, and he's just picked one or the other, and let's run with it. If he thinks Cogger's better, then he might be a bit nippier. He might take it to the line a bit more and straighten up the attack. Maybe Hastings knew in the back of his mind that, Cogger was there and he's probably going to take his spot, and maybe that led to his poor performance as well.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 games he looked pretty off, didn't he, Hastings? And I mean, Cogger, to me, he's not a number 14, and he was just wasted there. And I think we'd spoke about it previously, where he's either got to be in the starting team or he's not there. And it's good to see AOB make that tough decision.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of people bagging Tyson Gamble. I still rate Tyson, and it's he needs to aim up too. He needs to hopefully Cogger that partnership works a little bit better for him. Maybe there was a little lack of cohesion with him and Hastings, and that's the reason that O'Brien's dropped Hastings over Gamble. Yeah, a bit of a surprise there with Tuala. I don't think he's 100%, but that's what O'Brien wants to run with in comparison to other options that he may have had, including Fletcher Sharp, I think. So what about the Storm?
Yeah, it's a good back line there. We've got Ryan Pappenhausen at fullback, Will Warbrick on the wing, Remus Smith and Nick Meaney in the centres. Nick Meaney's a really solid player, and he's just you can put him anywhere and he'll put in a performance for you. Xavier Coates, we know what we're going to get from him.
Wow. What a try.
Great winger, Jonah Pezzett, and one of the strange ones is Tyron Wishart coming in at fullback to take the position of Jerome Hughes, which
it's a weekend 6 and 7, but Pezzett, obviously he was at the Knights. I think his dad was the recruitment guy here for a number of years, and left with a bit of a bitter taste in his mouth. Family, I think. But look, he's a good young talent. Really, with him and Wishart there, that's a massive, that's a massive target, isn't it? Although, look, the style of attack that Melbourne have is way better than what we've dished up in the first couple of rounds, and it still concerns me greatly that they're going to bring a similar style of attack to this match. Let's have a look at the forwards. Run us through the Knights here.
All right, so front row, we've got Jacob Saifidi, hooker Phoenix Crossland. The other front row are Leo Thompson. Back row of Tyson Frizzell and Kai Pearce-Paul, and lock forward Adam Elliott. Would you like me to go through the Melbourne team as well?
Yeah, let's go through Melbourne and we'll make some comments.
Yep, so in the front row for Melbourne, we've got Tui Kamakamitha, Harry Grant. He's always dangerous. We've got ex-Knight player Josh King. He's really taken his game to the next level at Melbourne.
Ex-Knights.
Yeah, we got Joe Chan and Elisa Katoa.
Yep, that's it.
Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, in the back row, and Trent Liero locking the scrum there. So they're missing.
Well, they're missing Solomona. That's it.
Solomona,
pretty much a full strength pack for the Storm, and we're not too far from full strength here either. So, look, overall, as we saw in those stats, we are doing pretty well in the forwards overall as a pack. And I think not just in attack, in defense as well. We've definitely slipped up and made some some slip ups definitely, but lack of concentration in some games, and like Daniel Safidi missed that horrible tackle. I think in the Canberra game it led to a try from Levy. But overall, I think we've been pretty solid, and I think we may have an edge over the Storm here. A lot of people have been saying the Storm are not quite as strong on the forwards this year. Let's quickly run through the interchange and the reserves.
Yep. So we got Jaden Brayley, Daniel
He's back.
Saifidi, yes, Jack Hetherington, Jed Cartwright. In the reserves, we've got Brodie Jones, Will Price, Matt Croker, Dylan Lucas, and Jackson Hastings.
Okay, so yeah, he's still named there. So I'm going to quickly run through a couple of things here. I don't think they're going to run as advertised. I think Hetherington most likely is going to be out from that's my read on what I've been viewing in the media. I'm not there at training, but I don't have any inside connections to tell me. But from reading between the lines, I'd say Hetherington's out. Lucas will come in to start, I think, and then you'll see Kai Pearce-Paul go back to the 17 jersey, or the 16 jersey in this case this week. So that would probably, if Lucas comes in, Hetherington goes out, then we might also see Brodie Jones come in potentially, or Matt Crocker or Jed Cartwright.
Yep.
I thought Cartwright, he's got a big body, but he's a toiler. God, if we've got a toiler in the side, that's him. That's Cartwright, massive toiler. And he got really tired at the end. And geez, he was really concerning me with his defense. Like when the game was on the line, he was really looking very slow and lethargic. So he doesn't have much more than 10, 15 minutes in him. But he hit the line quite strong on the burst and made some good meters a couple of times. Look, I like the look of it. Be interesting to see which way, if he stays in the side or if he's replaced with Croker or Jones. But you heard it here on the United podcast. I'm pretty confident Dylan Lucas will start the match in the back row. You want to quickly run through the Storm there?
I'll get you to read the Storm, mate, because I'm struggling with my poor light here. I'm squinting and I can't read the Storm team. So I'll get you to do it.
The torches are fading. Yeah. All right, so we've got Kane Bradley. We've got, geez, I'm going to have to bring the screen a bit closer here. Tiapaya Marura, sorry, you have to pardon the pronunciations here because my eyes are forgiving me with the screen. Chris Lewis, Alex McDonald. So that rounds out the 17. And on the extended reserves, we've got Grant Anderson, Aaron Panay, Jack Howarth, Marianne Seve, and Sean Law. We're just going to, now you've just reminded me of that power. What's your battery percentage there, James? Are we going to run out of power? We are going a bit over time.
Yeah, it says I've got 9 minutes to go.
Wow, okay, we better be fast here.
We're
under pressure. We've got to adapt to these conditions. Let's go. All right, so key points in this match. The Knights beat the Storm at home last year as part of the 10-game win streak, and that really kick-started that into the glory that we saw. Storm may be coming off a little bit after a big start to the season. The Knights have won 8 of their past 10 games at McDonald Jones Stadium, but the Storm have won 11 of their past 12 matches against the Knights. And the Knights centre Bradman Best has scored 3 tries in the last 4 games against the Storm. Season betting tally, we'll quickly go over this brought to you by Topsport. We're both down $59. We both tipped the Knights to lose last week, so that means we're 1-1 for the season. Let's get into our predictions. Our Topsports odds. We've got the Knights to win at $1.80, Storm to win at $2. So we're favourites. Pretty surprising. Knights at the line, minus $1.5, $1.86. Knights 1 to 12, 320. Knights 13 plus 370. Anytime try score, Bradman Best $2.79. James, what's your predictions for the match and what's your bet for the week? Are you in or you out?
I'm in. I'm going to go the Knights 1 to 12. I'm going to chuck the $100 on that.
So whoa, he's going big. He's going large.
I'm going big.
All right.
Yeah, I think they'll push. I think they'll have a good game this week. So yeah.
Excellent. Okay, my bet for the week is 2 pineapples. I'm going to go Knights 1-12 at 320, and I'm going to whack 50 on Bradman Best to be at anytime try score at 279. I think some of those tackling stats I saw from the Storm last week. The efficiency wasn't great. I mean, Best, I reckon he's up for a big match here, and he's got a good record against the Storm. So, look, I'm pretty confident about this bet. I'm not as confident about the Knights to win. But let's face it, my predictions for the match is that the Knights should win, and for their season, for their confidence, they must win. So, as I said last week, we just really have to roll up the sleeves and get the job done. What are your thoughts, James?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. They improved last week. There was still some errors, but this week they've got to get the job done no matter what. Even if it's ugly, they've just got to get the 2 points, and we can't go 0-3.
Yeah, it would be a horrible start to the season if we went 0-3, especially with 2 home matches. And we are facing a depleted Storm side in terms of their key strengths compared to ours. We're 88%, they're 82%. We've got a home ground advantage, and I think maybe last week took a bit out of us, and maybe the changes of the squad, with Brayley coming in and with Cogger coming in, the lack of cohesion there could actually still happen this week. And if that does happen in the first half and Melbourne come in confident, there's every chance we're going to lose this game because of the instability still there in the spine. And look, I don't think O'Brien could have changed it. He had to back Hastings and Gamble at the start. It is what it is, and we've just got to roll on. And look, if we win this match, we get the season back on track. And if Cogger has a good game with Brayley coming in and doesn't get injured and he plays all right, then maybe we're looking good to move into the Warriors the week after. Just quickly, if you guys can give us a subscribe and a like on YouTube, that'd be awesome. This is also available on Spotify and Apple, so you can find that there in the links down in the description. Follow us on X for in-game live commentary and personal comments in regards to what's happening in the match on Sunday, which is at 6:15 p.m. So, yeah, they're the last things really to wrap up. Any final thoughts here, James, before you beat the buzzer and not run out of power?
Oh, mate, it's I've got bugger all power left, but no, I'm looking forward to this week's round of footy, and especially seeing how the Knights go. I'm pretty confident that they will put in a very good performance. They seem to be building off that. They were terrible against the Raiders. They were much improved against the Cowboys. I expect that trend to continue.
I hope so. I'm not overly confident because of the instability in the spine, but I hope so. My head says this week we really, stats-wise, we do have a good chance to win this match, considering it's at home, considering the Storm are a bit under strength in key positions. And look, we really just have to win this match. It's just a must win. Not much else to say. We didn't get the chance to hear the Knights sing the winning song in the sheds last week. We're going to roll out with it. James has made it. He survived the power outage. Mate, great to catch up with you tonight. And really looking forward to the match on Sunday. Get onto X and follow our comments there. And we'll be back next week live at 7 o'clock for the review.
See you next week, mate.
See you, mate.